Yo, crazy children here, Hams number 7 dropping bomb. Today I want to make a video about flying the DJI Neo with FPV controller. 3 most important tips for anyone before they even buy the controller. First, I'm going to show everybody all the crazy damage I've got from learning the FPV. It is extremely difficult. You're gonna have to do a lot of repair. It's just not like normal DJI product where it's easy to fly, it's fun, it's safe. When you fly FPV with remote controller, it's extremely dangerous and extremely difficult because there will be so much power releasing into the drone. So here you can see all the damage that I've created with learning the FPV. This prop here broken and then replace a new one, so you have to unscrew this and then fix it. This one also broke from various crash, and this prop protection guard underneath, this one broke, I fixed it. Also this one also broke, I fixed it. And here this crack open, I fixed it with blue. This is the blue I'm using. This one's transparent, it's lightweight, kind of work well with the drone. And the other side, this also crack open, and then I also fixed it. And when this break, it will change the shape, and then the blade will be hitting the edge of the protector, and then it will get caught. So with the repair, it's a little bit headache. You kind of have to twist the shape, make sure it's going out, otherwise it's going to have problem. And in my first repair of the propeller, because I didn't lock tight enough, so there will be strange wobbling vibration during high speed. So replacing the propeller, it's important to screw it very tight. So before you even get the drone, the controller, it's very important. The tip number 1 is understanding that you're going to have a lot of crashes, and get ready to do some repair. The propeller, the guard, the whole thing. I didn't know that before I was getting this. Knowing what I had gone through once I started learning FPV, I would think twice about getting it because it's a lot of headache. And tip number 2 is to get a FPV simulator. Before you're flying for real, you have to commit at least 10 to 20 hours in the simulator to learn all the control, because without that, you're not going to even able to fly this for 5 seconds. Like, it will be constant crashing. When the manual is released, it becomes a beast. So you need to buy the simulator, usually around $20–30, depending on if it's Windows or Mac or which platform you're on. And if you are not able to put in the 10–20 hours, then you shouldn't be getting the FPV controller, because without that, it's never going to work. And tip number 3 is very important. Is before you change into the manual, you need to make sure your drone is higher than 50 meters. You don't want to do manual in the low altitude. It must be very high, because when it's very high, you won't be hitting anything. And once you finish the practice, before you come down, you switch back to the regular control. Then you come down to lower space. This is an extremely important tip for you to fly the real thing. Like, it takes months and months of practice in order for you to fly low space and not to crash. And that is because in the simulator, the drones you are flying is a very strong, very powerful one, very stable. The DJI Neo, on the other hand, it can do manual, but it is not too stable. There are certain maneuver, it will be a little bit unstable. So if you are a new FPV flyer manual, it's guaranteed going to have a ton of crash and a ton of repair. So these are the 3 very important tips. Once again, understanding that you're going to be doing a ton of repair. Are you ready for that? Number 2, you have to commit 10 to 20 hours before you even take flight. And you have to buy the simulator program, right? Are you ready for that? And number 3, once you got everything all set up, in the beginning, first 1–2 months, you have to fly only in higher altitude. Don't come down in manual. When you come down to the lower altitude, you have to change to the automatic flying. These are very important tips. Well, this will reduce your damage, your heartbreak, your repair, because I've gone through the hard experience and thought that people should have least amount of suffering. It is suffering. Every time your drone broke, it's a little bit heartbroken, and that emotional roller coaster. When you get into the FPV manual flying, it's not all fun. It's a lot of tough challenge waiting for you. So that's it for very honest and sincere tip for FPV manual flying. And if you understand all that and still willing to go for it, that's awesome, because it's a tough journey and take a long time to learn. Hopefully, all of you can do well and learn well, become a master flying manual FPV. Okay, right now I'm going to show everybody play the FPV simulator using DJI Remote Controller 2 with Velocity drone. So first, connect the USB cable, turn it on, and we'll start flying. So for this software, in the beginning, you have to set up. Once you set up, it's very quick every time for the practice. And let's lift off. So in the beginning, you don't want to fly too low. Go to a higher place. Then you practice the going straight line.
going like a square, and every time you turn you have to readjust to make sure you are balanced again. So in the beginning, just do this practice. This takes a long time to learn, because when everything is released to manual, it becomes very, very different. And once you get comfortable with that, you learn the power loop. So power going up, and then you go like this, and then you do the flip. I'll do a right flip, and then do the other side like that. You can do front flip as well, like that. And once you get used to that, you practice the figure 8. So here, go around, and then using the boat as another anchor, go around. So you practice left turn, you also practice the right turn. And once you are comfortable with that, you can begin practice going through narrow space. Like in between the building, there's some narrow space. Let's go over it. Like this, take a lot of practice. And you need this foundation so that you can fly the real drone. And once you become so good at everything, then you can try flying lower space and not to hit the building, not to hit the tree. Well, I hit the tree, crashed. See? It's not so easy. Takes a ton of practice. But this is the process of learning. Like once you crashed, it takes a really long time to become really good for flying low space. And in the beginning, if you try to do too much low space, you will just feel very frustrated, because you are constantly crashing. So in the beginning, you want to stay high up. Just make sure you are good at the turning, going straight line, and doing the power loop at higher space. Because when you are higher space, you won't be hitting anything. Then it's really safe for learning. So with DJI Neo, in the beginning, you don't want to go too low. Stay high up. Every time you finish your practice, before you go down, you press the stop button like this, and then you switch back to the automatic control. Then you fly down to land. There are many simulators out there, and I recommend Velocity Drone because it's the closest to the real drone. Also, it doesn't require steam. Like you can just install it without Steam. Another popular option is the liftoff, but that one you will need Steam, which is kind of annoying. You have to open an account and you have to load money. But with Velocity Drone, you just download the app and then you can play. And you pay directly to Velocity Drone through their website. I don't want to have Steam because the Steam will clutter up your system with so much other junk. Because all I want is being able to practice the manual flying. So I like Velocity Drone the best. And inside there are many different maps to choose from. Alright, so this is a quick demo of what you need to go through. Spend at least 10 to 20 hours in this simulator before you even actually fly DJI Neo manual mode for real. Now for most people, like these are the frustration you cannot even go through because this learning take a lot of dedicated focus and time and troubleshoot all the issues, setting up the app, setting up the remote controller, and it's quite a bit of struggle. Many new people, they will have trouble going through this. So maybe not getting into the FPV remote controller is a safer option. But if you want the extreme happiness, right, and the complete freedom in flying, these are the struggle you need to go through. Alright, that's it to show the Velocity drone, the simulator. Highly recommend. It's very good. It's like real. Just remember that the drones inside the Velocity drone is very powerful one, very strong, very stable. DJI Neo is very weak. So when you fly DJI Neo, you still have to adjust to that. When it's weak and when it's not so stable, it's even more difficult. You have to be extremely sensitive with the control. Like a little bit is a lot. This is Crazy Superman. We'll talk to you next time. Ciao.